Hi, this is Aaron at ThinkBotLabs.com and welcome back. Between work and the holidays, it took me a little bit to get back to this project, so let's get started. First, let's go back to the GameArt2D.com and download the robotic game GUI pack. I'll post a link in the description of this video where you can go grab this at. After you get it downloaded, go ahead and create a new folder under Sprites called GUI. And in the downloaded folder, under PNG, you'll find 3 sprite sheets, one for buttons, elements, and windows. Go ahead and grab all 3 of those, drag them in, and import them. Alright, after they're imported, now we need to split them up. So go to the buttons, change the sprite mode to multiple, and then click on Sprite Editor. And this will open up the sprite editor. Alright, now we're going to go to slice and then go ahead and slice them. You can leave it on automatic for the GUI. They're pretty easy to chop up since they're all about the same size and they don't have any strange shapes to them. Alright, go ahead and click apply and then go ahead and close this. And do the same with the elements and the windows. So multiple, sprite editor, apply. So that little pop-up is just telling you that, hey, you've made some changes to your picture. Do you accept them? Yes. So sprite, slice, apply. Technically we don't need all the labels in here. Just go ahead and slice them and work on through. Okay, close that. Windows, sprite mode is multiple, and then sprite editor. And slice that up. Alright, now that we have all of these sprites sliced up, you can expand these and you can see that we have all of our buttons and elements as needed. Alright, so the first thing, let's go ahead and add a UI canvas. And let's rename the canvas to UI. And in the UI, let's add an empty game object and name it to Health UI. I do this because we'll be adding multiple UIs inside this same canvas. So go ahead and focus on the Health UI. Scroll out. You can see right now its placement is in the center of the canvas area. This entire rectangle is the canvas area. For our Health UI, we're going to anchor it in the upper left-hand corner. We're going to anchor it in the upper left-hand corner. To do that, hold down Shift, Alt, and then click on the upper left. You can see that it is located in the upper left-hand corner. So now all of our elements inside of this game object are going to be placed in that same area as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and add a UI image. This is going to be the background for our health bar. And let's select our source image. I know it's in the elements. And that background image, we're going to use 152. And you can see when you import these images, they're kind of squished. So you can preserve the aspect ratio by selecting that box. And we are going to put this image in the upper left-hand corner. But we're going to give it a little position off to the left and then from the top of -10. That way it's got some spacing from the screen. What else? So let's go ahead and size this. Let's bring it out just a tad. And that should be good. Let's rename the image to BG image. And now let's add an icon for health. Just going to be another image. This is also an element. And I'm going to use the heart. Preserve the aspect ratio. Hold down Shift. And then size it. Set it about right there. Looks good. Let's add a shadow to that so it pops just a little bit. Let's name this to icon. Alright, now let's add our slider. So UI slider. Again, let's position this in the upper left hand corner. I'll bring it down just a little bit. Bring it over. Alright, so on our slider, we're going to disable the interactable. The only way we're going to interact with this is through code. So we don't need the players actually clicking the slider. If you go down a little bit for the max value, we're going to set this for 100. It's going to be, the max value is going to be our health. So we want to have 100% option. We're only going to be using whole numbers. That way we don't have to worry about using floats. We just use integers. And the value is actually what we're going to be changing in code. So 0 is 0 health, and we can change it to 100 and see that the slider does go up. So we don't need the little knob, so let's expand the slider and go to the handle slide area and delete it. Okay, so let's go to the background of the slider in the box right here. Let's go ahead and change the background image source image to none. I'll change the fill area fill source image to none as well, except on the fill image, let's change the color to red. Alright, so now let's go to the fill and change the size of this. I'm going to bring it right inside the bounds. Background, I'm going to bring it inside as well. On this background, let's add another shadow to it so it stands out a little bit. Alright, so for the entire slider, let's change it so it is a little bit bigger. Right there, that should be good. So now when we go to the slider and we adjust those values, we'll see that the health bar goes down. Perfect. And what else? Let's add a text to the health bar. This is going to show us exactly how much health we have. So that text, let's just add it right over the health. And we'll, just as a placeholder, we'll say 100%. Let's change the font to our Earth orbiter that we have. Let's center it. There. And let's bring it down just a little bit. Okay, let's rename this to health text. And go ahead and minimize all that. Alright, so now let's wire up the code for this. Let's go to scripts. Let's create a new script. Let's call this player health. Go ahead and open that up. So in order to have access to the UI elements, we have to have another using statement. So using Unity engine dot UI. So the first thing that we need is a slider. I'll call this health bar. And then our health text. I'm going to serialize these so we can see them in the editor. And then we need two more variables for max health, which we're going to set at 100, and then our current health. So in our start, we're going to say that the health bar's value is equal to our max health. That way it's 100% when we first get started. Also our current health is going to be equal to our health bar dot value. Go ahead and get those two set. Void on trigger. Stay. The 2D platform, we'll say 2D. Collider 2D. And if our collider, let's have him collide with, let's look at our scene real quick. Let's have him collide with the saw. So if the collider dot game object dot tag is equal to saw, there you go. We'll say that the health bars dot value is minus equal 5. And our current health is equal to the health bars dot value. So when we're in this collider, as long as we're staying within this collider, we're going to reduce our health by 5. And then let's also update our health text. We can do that by void update, and we'll say our health text dot text is equal to our current health to string. We're going to concatenate that and just give it a little percent. Okay, and that should be all that we need for our player health. Let's go ahead and create a little script for the saw so it'll spin for us. So let's create C# script saw, open it up. Okay, and we'll take all this insides out. And then all we're going to say here is float speed, or saw speed, equals 300. Let's make it spin real fast. And then void update, do transform dot rotate, and we'll spin this on the z-axis by saw speed times time dot delta time. Okay, go ahead and save that. Let's go back to our scene. Let's go to the saw and drag the saw script on it, and let's go to our player, and we're going to drag the player health on it. Now it's asking for the health bar and the health text. Let's go back to our GUI and go to the health bar, which is the slider, and the health text. It's right there. The last thing we need to do is add a box collider around our player so he can detect if he has collided with something. If we use one of these box colliders or the circle collider that we currently have on him, then the player will simply just pass through other objects, and we don't want that. So grab a box collider 2D and let's position it. Shrink it down on the X a little bit. Let's move it over a little bit. Shrink it a little bit more. And then shrink the height. There you go, that's perfect. And then set that as a trigger. Alright, well, let's have a look at it. So let's click play. Alright, so we have our saw spinning. We have our UI in the upper left hand corner. And let's go over to the saw. Whoa. Alright, so that was cool. We got our health to go down, but that was pretty fast. Let's go back to our script, the player health. Let's change this to 1.5. Let's go back and play that again. Whoa. So you can see that we hit the saw, and when we hit it, our player's health went down to 60%. If we just bump it just a little bit, you can see it going down. So now we're at 2%. So the next thing we'll need to do is wire up an animation for him to die when his health hits 0%. So pretty cool. That's going to be all for this tutorial. Hope this was helpful, and we'll see you in the next one. Till then.